something about your movie, why I made a curator's pick of the Hollywood Fringe Festival. Community, heart,
The All New Power 88 is here with gospel artist Jason Champion. And I just want to ask you a couple of questions, okay. Jason. What's going on with the little flavor, with the little, that flavor that you got in your music? How would you describe it?
Sam Cooke, you mean?
Yes.
So I wrote that song probably 15 years ago, and it didn't sound like that. We wanted a sort of a different, more clever way to talk about heaven and the rapture. You know, we want to be able to snare young people. So I recorded the song the way I wrote it. I wasn't on My Block Records. I hadn't met Warren Campbell yet. So I met Warren. We did one album together. It was nominated for a Grammy in 2009. And then fast forward to this record, I said, hey man, I got a song I want you to hear, you know, see what you think. And so I sang it, and he said, Sam Cooke. And I said, what's that mean? So he went and did a track. He said, I want you to go in the booth and I want you to sing it the way you think Sam Cooke would sing it. And so that's how we came up with the record we have today, and I love it. It's an infectious song. I love Sam Cooke. I mean, any singer that's worth his weight, you gotta love Sam Cooke.
That's right. And he was very big back in his day, very smooth, and he had a appeal to his generation, and you have appeal to this generation. I want to ask you a question. What made you leave Men at Large?
So I didn't really leave as much as I was in my basement, and I was at my grandmother's house doing something I said I'd never do. My grandmother was a stickler she didn't like drugs. She didn't like no good Negroes, as she would call it. And every day she would say, don't grow up to be no good Negro. And I forgot what I was going through. I think Men at Large was having a hard time at the time. And I was in the basement smoking weed, which I said I would never do. I didn't grow up smoking weed, but I found myself sort of, I guess, in a funk. And as I was getting high and just doing what I was doing, the Holy Spirit came and arrested me and told me, hey, it's time for Men at Large to come to an end. So I didn't really leave. God drew me out of it and told me that, you know, my season for doing that was over, and he had other things for me, so I didn't leave.
That's wonderful, and no one would ever knock when God is moving you to do something. You have to be obedient to what God tells you to do.
You'd be surprised. Some people do knock you for doing what God has called you to. You know, sometimes your obedience can lead to a very revelatory situation where people you thought were for you, once you do what you believe God is calling you to do, you get a chance to see that they really weren't for you. They were for you as long as you were doing something that helped make them comfortable. But at the moment you do what Christ or what God is calling you to do, they fall away. And I'm okay with that.
And that's all right, because you know what? When God gives you something, it's for you.
Yes, ma'am.
Now you have to be responsible to Him, not responsible to people. That's why we have to be delivered from people.
Right. That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So what is it now that you are most proud of? Or I don't want to ask that question. I want to ask this. What did you learn when you were at Men at Large, when you were a part of that helped you with where you are today?
I don't know that. I think every season of life teaches you something. I don't really know that I pull from anything then that helps me today, other than back then it was all about me. Get on stage, make the girls scream, you know, make as much money as you could. And now I realize that if I sing well, if I don't sing well, if I look good, if I don't look good, whatever it is that I'm doing, it has to, you know, it's all for His glory. It has nothing to do with me and my talent or my ability. It's all for Him. And so I think that's probably not something that I learned as much as something that I understand more today. That's the biggest difference.
That sounds like growth, and that sounds like maturity to me.
Thank you.
All right, Jason Champion, I want you to tell us a little bit about Cleveland, because, you know, that's not a real easy breezy neck of the woods. So tell us a little bit about Cleveland and that environment, and spiritually the influence or impact it's had on you.
So, you know, with every city, you have your places that are hard or arduous to grow up. You know, every city here, Vegas has it, New Orleans has it. But Cleveland has a special brand of toughness, in my opinion. The streets, I grew up in the sort of in the suburbs, but the people that I was associated with, they were street cats. And so I was always the suburban kid that was accepted and allowed to be in with the company of these goons, if you will.
They let you kick it with them.
Let me kick it with
You got to pass. Okay.
So Cleveland is a rich city. The history goes back, even before Gerald Levert and the OJs, there's a great jazz history from Cleveland. There was a huge jazz scene back in the 50s. And some of everybody, Ella, what's my man, Dizzy. You had some great people that came through Cleveland that people don't even know or talk about. But God blessed me to be with some great people, with Gerald Levert, the OJs, the Rude Boys. I mean, Cleveland has a rich musical history, and I'm proud to be from there. It has definitely shaped me and molded me into who I am, along with my family. I have a rich musical family background. And so I'm proud to be from Cleveland. A lot of people don't want to own Cleveland, or they don't like Cleveland because of the snow, the bitter cold. Look, man, when you're born somewhere, it's in your heart. What others may not have grace to take, I love Cleveland, and I rep my city. I don't have any disdain about it. It's rough, and it's gotten rougher. I love home. Cleveland, Ohio. LeBron James, what? The Cavs? The Browns, even though we suck, I still rep my home city. So I'm proud to be from Cleveland.
Well, I just have one question. Can any good come out of Cleveland?
A lot of good has come out of Cleveland. I've come out of Cleveland. Gerald Levert, Sean Levert, rest in peace. The OJs, the mighty OJs. It's a lot of great talent. The Rude Boys. It's a lot of good that has come. Yeah.
And of course, I asked that rhetorically because the Bible said, can any good thing come out of Nazareth?
Yeah.
So I said, could any good thing come out of Cleveland? And the answer is yes.
And there's more to come. There's more to come.
You heard it right here with the all-new Power 88. Lady Symmie The Real and our gospel artist, Jason Champion. We love you.
Thank you so much.
Boy, you know that.
Hey, Cleveland, baby. Cleveland. Behind the scenes, talking to a Cleveland native.